Hi, this is Charley Casserly. Hey, just back from the Combine. So let's get right to my mock draft. Start with the Cleveland Browns. They're going to take Myles Garrett, defensive end, Texas A&M. One of the best defensive ends that I've ever seen come out in the draft. In fact, the last 15 years, I think he's the best one. Next up, number 2. The San Francisco 49ers. Oh, they can make a trade. Guess what? They trade that pick to the Washington Redskins. They get Kirk Cousins. Now the Redskins are picking second. They're going to rebuild that defense, and they're going to start with Jonathan Allen, defensive lineman from Alabama. He can play all across the front in a 4-man or 3-man front. But the Redskins play a 3-man front, so I look for him to be a defensive end. He's stout against the run, but he's an excellent inside pass rusher, something that's hard to find. The Redskins immediately get better stopping the run and rushing the passer with Allen. Next up is the Bears. They got a quarterback issue, but I think they're going to find a way to solve it in free agency, so that leaves the pick wide open. Cornerback is a big need for this football team. The best corner in this year's draft, Ohio State's Marshawn Lattimore. Big, tall, rangy, athletic guy with speed. Needs a little technique work, but I think this guy's going to be a good one. Then we go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. A little bit of a surprise here. They're going to go the route of the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to make their team better by taking a running back. Leonard Fournette, LSU. This guy, to me, is Adrian Peterson, right in that area. In fact, I think he does some things better than Adrian Peterson. A little bit more instinctive, runs with a little pad level, a little bit lower. The Tennessee Titans come up. Hey, they got to need a wide receiver. They got to need a corner. There isn't one to take, but they could use a safety. Jamal Adams of LSU. Big, tall, rangy guy, can hit athletically. He showed pretty good at the Combine. His coverage ability was a question going into the Combine. I don't think it is now. Moved very well. Now we go to the New York Jets. Got a lot of needs here, but one way they can make that football team better and help one of those young quarterbacks who might be playing for them is to take a running back. Dalvin Cook from Florida State. In fact, I polled 19 teams. 7 teams had Cook better than Fournette. So I'll tell you what, there's a lot of discussion going on in those draft rooms. Cook, explosive guy, big play guy, can do it all. Next up, you're going to go to the San Diego Chargers. No, it's the Los Angeles Chargers now. I get it all the time. But guess what? They're going to take Malik Hooker, safety from Ohio State. They got 2 corners that can cover. They got 2 pass rushers that can rush. They need a ball-hawking guy in the middle. Malik Hooker is going to do the job for him. Then we go to the Carolina Panthers. Now, again, it gets complicated here. They really wanted a running back. They might trade up and try to go get one if they can. That's what I think I'd look for on draft day. Well, in my mock draft, they weren't able to make that trade, so now they're going to go to a defensive end and a pass rusher. A lot of these guys are grouped together. My number 2 after Garrett is Derek Barnett of Tennessee. Really comes off the edge and gives consistent pressure to the quarterback. And now we go to number 9. Number 9 is the Cincinnati Bengals. This team has no major weakness that can be solved in this draft. In other words, maybe they want to get a better quarterback than they have, but that's not going to happen. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to take the best player available. And right now, it's Reuben Foster, the inside linebacker from Alabama. This guy reminds me a lot of Luke Kuechly coming out. In fact, I think he's a little stronger against the run. Kuechly a little better against the pass. I think people don't like what happened at the Combine, but I don't know if they'll hold it against them. So right now I'm saying not, and that's where we're going to go with this pick. Bengals are going to take Foster of Alabama, and he's going to the Pro Bowl in his career, guaranteed right here. And then number 10, we got the Buffalo Bills. Quarterback is an issue. I don't know what they're going to do there, but I think maybe they solve it here by keeping Taylor on a short-term contract. We'll see what happens there. If that's the case, they're going to go for a wide receiver, taking Mike Williams out of Clemson. Big, rangy guy, going to help you in the red zone. This guy makes any quarterback better. Next up, the New Orleans Saints picking at 11. A lot of holes on this defense. Pass rush, corner, linebacker. To me, they're going to take a corner here. I got him taking Sidney Jones of Washington. This guy's a shutdown potential corner for them. Next up, we're going to go with the Cleveland Browns with their second first-round pick. Now, last year, they passed on Carson Wentz. Right now, I'd say you have to regret that. So now they don't pass on what is the best quarterback, in my opinion, in this draft, Mitch Trubisky. Now, this guy still is a project. He's not a lead pipe cinch. But in watching all the tapes on these guys, he's the most consistent of all the quarterbacks in this year's draft. So they have somebody to start building one. Now, we go to the Arizona Cardinals. Number 1 need happens to be cornerback. However, I think Calais Campbell's going to leave him. Now, they have some people they think can help him there, but to me, you got to take Solomon Thomas here. He's jumping out at your board. Now, this guy's kind of an enigma. Ran real fast at the combine, but when you watch the tape, he's not a 4-3 outside rusher. Guess what? These guys played a 34. They can use an inside rusher. This is where he fits in. He'll play defensive end in the 34, and then he'll be a pass rusher on third down inside. It's a good value pick for them. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints coming back. But you're saying, no, it's the Eagles. I need another trade. You can make all these trades in mock drafts. Hey, guess what? On draft day, back when Brandon Cooks was taken by the New Orleans Saints, the Eagles were thinking about trying to trade up to get him. Maybe they couldn't make that trade. Second time around, they make the trade with the Saints. Carson Wentz, you got a deep threat now. You got somebody who can beat man-to-man coverage. So now the Saints are picking. They got to get the pass rusher because they took the corner already. Tack McKinley, UCLA. Love this guy coming off the edge. Next up, we got the Indianapolis Colts. Hey, they got a new GM. The offensive line, it needs to be fixed. I'm going to give them Garrett Bowles out of Utah. Some people think it's a reach. I think this guy's an excellent tackle, but you better be in a zone running scheme. I don't know what they're going to do, but in a zone scheme, this guy's a terrific tackle. So we give him an offensive lineman. Now we go to the Baltimore Ravens. They got to need a pass rush. They got to need a corner. But guess what? They got to get somebody that can go deep because they got a quarterback that can go deep. How about the fastest guy in the history of the combine? John Ross of Washington. This guy's just not a fast guy. When you watch the tape, he can catch the ball, he can run after the catch, and he can run past people. This guy is a legitimate receiver. At number 17, the Washington Redskins, who have already got their defense better with Jonathan Allen, take another defensive lineman from the University, this time of Florida. Caleb Brantley, strong inside player. I think this guy can play nose, but I think he can play a defensive end in the 34. You had Allen and Brantley. All of a sudden, you're going to stop that run, make that offense better. Now, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock at number 18, but if you read my mock draft, you know I put another trade in there. And I feel strongly about this. The Giants have got to get the left tackle solved. They're running out of options in this draft. So what do? They trade up with Tennessee and get Ryan Ramczyk from the University of Wisconsin. This guy can pass block. He can run block. Now you take Flowers, who's miscast as a left tackle. You put him on the right side. He looks like a much better player. And all of a sudden, now you got two bookends. You run the ball better, and you pass protect better. All right, next up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19. Now, they got a little bit question of running back and receiver. I got the guy for him. How about Christian McCaffrey from Stanford? The guy was phenomenal in the drills. He was the best running back at the combine in the drills. But you watch the tape, this guy's a heck of a runner. Ran fast. They put him at receiver at the combine. He looked like a first-round pick. Take your pick. You want to play him a receiver? You want to play him a running back? Maybe you move him around and cause matchup problems for the defense. New England does a great job with their backs. This guy's better than anybody New England has. So McCaffrey to Tampa Bay. The Denver Broncos. Free agency. They're going to solve that offensive line in free agency. They got receivers. O.J. Howard. They're dying to get a tight end. This guy not only is an outstanding receiver, he runs fast, but he isn't a bad blocker for a tight end coming out of college, so you can leave him in the game in all situations. O.J. Howard to the Denver Broncos. They've solved the offensive line in free agency. Now we go to number 21, the Detroit Lions. Offensive line's a possibility here, but so's pass rusher. I'm giving him Charles Harris, defensive end from Missouri. Another outstanding pass rusher opposite Ansah. Their pass rush got a lot better. At number 22, we have the Miami Dolphins. Now, I'm counting on them re-signing Kenny Stills. Otherwise, they're taking a wide receiver right here. So let's say they take Kenny Stills for this pick.
Cornerback is a major problem for the Dolphins. So they take Tre'Davious White, cornerback from LSU. This fellow is a big, strong, athletic guy. He can line up and play press, and I think he has the ability to play off, too. Immediately, your football team gets better on defense, and that's where the Dolphins have to concentrate in this offseason, is the defense. Cornerback, Tre'Davious White, LSU.
Now, we made a trade before. The Tennessee Titans are on the clock. Marcus Mariota, they got a star quarterback in the wings here. This guy's going to be terrific, I think. Who's he going to throw to? Corey Davis of Western Michigan. They traded back to get him. You're saying Western Michigan, he'd have been a starter at any school in the country. This guy is a terrific receiver. He's a big, tall guy, can make great catches, strong coming off the ball. This guy will be a number one receiver for them. At number 24, the Oakland Raiders are up. Now, This is a team that doesn't need many players. This is a team that's really in good shape. But they could use a corner for this football team. And Darian Conley of Ohio State, hey, he had a terrific combine. In fact, I think he did the drill work. That's the backpedaling and the turning better than any corner. But he's not a fraud. He's not just a workout guy. You watch the tape, this guy's a heck of a player. This guy has the ability to play press and the ability to play off. So Gary and Conley to the Raiders. Now they got two shutdown corners, I think, in my mind. Next up, the Houston Texans got not a team with a lot of needs, but they can use some help on the offensive line. Big guy, Cam Robinson, Alabama, offensive tackle. Some people aren't questioning whether he can play tackle. I tell you what, he moved well enough in those combine drills to convince me I'd put this guy at tackle. By the way, the Texans can use a guard, too. So if it doesn't work out one way or another, they're going to get an offensive lineman that can start for them. At number 26, the Seattle Seahawks are up. Now, there's some corners in this draft. Maybe they can get one in the second round, but they always want pass rushers. Now, the second best pass rusher in this league is an outside linebacker from Alabama, Tim Williams. Reminds me of Irvin, who already has left them and gone to the Oakland Raiders. Much better player coming out of college. Now, some people will admit this guy has some mistakes, but the Seattle Seahawks have taken some chances before, and they panned out for him. So we'll see what happens. I know this much. He's second best pass rusher in this draft, Tim Williams of Alabama. Now we come to the Kansas City Chiefs. They could use an inside linebacker, and there's still some good ones available. However, I think they pass and decide to take the quarterback of their future here, Deshaun Watson of Clemson. They don't need him to play right now. Alex Smith can handle it. But guess what? They're starting to groom the successor here. Good money pick at this point in the draft. At number 28, we have the Dallas Cowboys. Now, they've got some corners that are going to be up there in free agency. I think they're going to lose at least one of them. Maybe they lose two. Who knows? Adoree Jackson, USC. Ran fast at the combine. Excellent drill work. I like the tape. This guy shows me a lot of ability on the tape. This is a deep draft in corners. I like this guy. I think this would be a good pick right here. At number 29, we have the Green Bay Packers, and they're going to take one of my favorite players in the draft. In fact, I don't think he'll be there when they pick T.J. Watt. We all know J.J. Guess what? The motor's exactly the same. Plays outside linebacker. Does a good job standing up the tight end. Quick hands to shed. Natural pass rush ability with a slippery move. And very good at stunts inside. In fact, I'm seeing him line up as an inside linebacker and blitz from there. Maybe this guy could be an inside linebacker. Position versatility. Boy, what a bookend to Clay Matthews. Almost looks like the same guy in some ways coming out of college. Now, we go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another one of my favorite players, Jabril Peppers from the University of Michigan. Now, we know he plays offense and he plays defense, and he's played corner, he's played safety, he's played linebacker, he's played running back, wide receiver, even wildcat quarterback. Breaking it down, I think he's a little undersized to me, in my mind, to play him at linebacker. I'm not sure he has that top cover ability to play out corner, but I do think he has the cover ability and speed to play safety, and the guy's a pretty good tackler. Hey, the Steelers need cover people. They could use another safety. I think Jabril Peppers is a nice pick for him. Number 31, the Atlanta Falcons. With no major need, they decide to pull back, trade back, pick up an extra pick. Here come the Buffalo Bills. Remember at the beginning I said they'll get their quarterback later in the draft? Notre Dame's Deshaun Kaiser. One thing you better have in Buffalo is a strong arm to cut through that November and December wind. This guy's got a cannon. He can cut through any wind with this arm. Big, strong guy. May not have to play wide away, which is good. He can learn and develop. And now, the 32nd pick in the first round, it's Trader Bills on the clock. Hey, I've had enough trades. I'm over my limit for trades in this mock draft. Trader Bills going to stay right there. Now, tight end's a problem for him because Gronk can't stay healthy, and Martellus Bennett, I think he could leave in free agency. So from the University of Miami, David Njoku. I like this guy. Terrific receiver. In fact, he's a better receiver than O.J. Howard. O.J. Howard probably is a better blocker, a more complete tight end. But New England does a great job of taking a player and putting him in a position to do what he does best. Boy, you got a heck of a receiver in this guy, New England Patriot fans.